I feel like he's taken his lumps a little hit here lately, but that's part of growing and developing and going through it at the big league level.
A little bit of a 2019 World Series feel to tonight's pitching matchup. Patrick Corbin earned the win in Game 7 to help Washington beat the Astros in that fall classic, but he's just 3-12 with a 5.73 ERA this season. And for the Yanks, it's Garrett Cole, whose victory in Game 5 left Houston one win away from that title. He's 5-2 with a 3.72 ERA, but he's been even better than that for a while now. Cole is coming off back-to-back victories, and both were scoreless outings. On Thursday, he beat Cleveland for career win number 150, and he gave up just one hit, a single to the first batter he faced, which would be the only one the Yankees allowed that day. Cole struck out just 2, and his 5 walks tied a career high, but he also deployed his knuckle curve, a season high 29.5%. Cole was in complete control, and it's been that way all month. He's 2-0 with a 1.17 ERA across 4 August starts. He is our Key to the Game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. In his last 3 road starts, he's 3-0 with a sparkling 1.06 ERA, allowing no more than 1 run in any outing. He struck out 21 against just 4 walks, and he's holding opponents to a sub-200 batting average. On the other side, Corbin is in the final season of that 6-year, $140 million deal that he signed, and it's been another difficult season. He's been the most homer-prone pitcher in baseball since 2020, allowing 127. His 12 losses this year are tied for the most in the National League, and his ERA is the worst in baseball by more than a half a run. He's also last in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. Considering all of those struggles, Corbin has actually been a bit better at home. He's just 2-5, but his 5.01 ERA at Nationals Park is a run-and-a-half better than it is away from our nation's capital. Opponents hit .351 against him on the road, just .262 at home. He's coming off 6 innings of 1-run ball and a win over the Rockies on Thursday, and that start was in the friendly confines of Washington. We are just getting started on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Up next, our own John Flaherty joins the show. We'll get Flash's thoughts on what he's seen from Garrett Cole. Plus, when he's not hitting home runs, he's robbing them. We look back at Aaron Judge's highlight reel night, and later, Gleyber Torres is cooking out of the leadoff spot for the Yanks. We'll break down his hot streak. It's all ahead, so keep it locked in right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Here comes the heat!
Say hello to the Bronx Buds, Yes's first ever animated series for the whole family.
And the crowd goes wild!
Now streaming. Join Riv, Bash, Oscar, and the rest of their gang for a baseball adventure around the Big Apple.
Bronx Pride is on the line.
Hexlab presents Bronx Buds. Now streaming exclusively on the Yes app. Powered by Buy-Cow Auto Mall.
Magnifico.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous, because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Back here on Yankees batting practice today, driven by Audi. As promised, John Flaherty joins us in Flash. Bob Klapisch wrote a column for New Jersey Advanced Media recently about a meeting between Garrett Cole and Mike Mussina when the Yankees were at the Little League World Series. Now, I reached out to Clapp earlier today. He said Matt Blake had been suggesting a slower curve, but Cole resisted, saying that it would give hitters more time to react. Mike Mussina gave him the same advice. Take something off the knuckle curve. Take a lot off of it. You watch Cole, you caught Mussina. What are the benefits of Cole following that advice?
Well, Chris, I actually have to go back to Mike Mussina's last year with the Yankees where he won 20 games. And if you remember at that point in Mike's career, the velocity on his fastball really had dropped into the high 80s. And Dave Island, who was a pitching coach back at the time, he reminded Mike of a few things. One of them was that when your velocity drops, you have to pitch inside more, which Moose did his last year. And he also told him that if your velocity drops on your fastball, you better find a way to drop the velocity on your off-speed pitches. And I remember specifically that year that Mike Mussina found a way to bring his changeup, the velocity, way down. So we got that separation from upper 80s with the fastball and brought the velocity on the changeup down to the low 70s. So when I read that article from Clapp on the meeting between Moose and Garrett Cole, it reminded me of the adjustments that Mike was making at the end of his career. And I think really what it comes down to is you're trying to get separation with Garrett Cole throwing mid to upper 90s, and if you drop the separation with his knuckle curveball down to the low 70s, mid 70s, I mean, you're getting 20 miles an hour difference on those two pitches. So you're getting plenty of separation, which lead to a lot more swings and misses when he has the velocity with the fastball. So I think Mike Mussina meeting with Garrett has kind of opened his eyes to you're never too early or too late to make some changes in your repertoire with the velocity. Obviously, we've seen the knuckle curve from Garrett the last couple of starts. It's become a bigger weapon, and I think in the drop in the velocity is a big reason why.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the end of Mussina's career because we see that with pitchers. They go from being throwers, Flash, to actually pitchers, and they have to figure out different ways of getting guys out. And we saw Mussina said that to Cole in that meeting as well. He says, you always have to tinker. You always have to experiment. So all of this advice, these are two baseball, they have their doctorates in pitching. You know what I mean? I mean, so these two, the meeting of the minds that was in Williamsport, this was something for the imagination. But do you think Cole takes this and maybe when he has to transition, he goes back to that advice from Mussina?
I don't think there's any doubt. You know, I would have loved to have been part of that conversation. I'm sure you would have too, Chris, to be just sitting there 100%. Listening to these two guys go back and forth. It would have been fascinating. But I think really what it comes down to, both of them, you know, catching Moose, talking to Moose, you know, being able to go through game plans with him, and watching Garrett, and a little bit that I get to talk to him about how he goes about his craft. They're both guys that watch, right? They watch when they're not pitching. They watch when they're out on the mound. They watch what hitters are trying to do, how they're reacting to their pitches. I think Mike Mussina was the best that I had ever caught on going from pitch to pitch on what I did with my execution and what the hitter told me he was seeing or how his swing was being delivered on what my stuff was doing at that point. So I think both of these guys are really good at just watching what's going on, making adjustments during the game, and then the 4 days in between watching a lineup. I'm sure Garrett Cole was locked in last night on this national lineup tonight and trying to pick up anything, any small detail that he can to give him a little more success tonight.
Yeah, their arsenals were definitely like their scalpel, being doctors of pitching. Yes. Now, Flash, let's move on to Austin Wells. Not getting the start behind the plate tonight, but we have to bring him up because he's having a ridiculous season, especially lately. 10 of his last 31 hits, they've gone for extra bases. His last 26 games, 22 starts, he's hitting .326 with an on-base just under 400. What have you seen from him both beside the plate and behind the plate?
Chris, I've seen a young player and a prospect who has now turned himself into a legitimate #1 catcher in the major leagues. And, this is nothing against Jose Trevino, who has had a great career, obviously had an injury and is coming back. But I just saw when Austin Wells was giving the opportunity to be the #1 guy, you talked about the offensive numbers, the protection for Aaron Judge hitting cleanup when he was in that spot. That's all great. But for me, the other part of this is what he's done behind the plate, and more importantly, leading a pitching staff, and the way he's kind of slowed some of his guys down when they've gotten in trouble by going out to the mound, having a conversation, the way he's calling a game, the way he's leading this staff. He's graduated for me to a #1 guy. And I know the Yankees talk all the time when they evaluate their players, they evaluate them on where they fit in on a championship club. And in my opinion, watching how far Austin Wells has come this year, I see him as a #1 catcher on a championship team. So kudos to the player development, kudos to the scouting department who drafted this guy #1. They've developed a #1 catcher who not only is slightly above average defensively behind the plate, he's above average standing beside it with that left-handed swing.
Now, one of those guys you just referred to about him going out and calming down would be Nestor Cortez. In his last 3 starts,
Yep.
Flash, he's been absolutely amazing. He's pitching to a .44 ERA. Aaron Boone and Jose Trevino both told me the key with Nestor Cortez is his fastball command and his changeup. What do you think it is for him?
Well, I think it's getting back to basics, and you mentioned it, Chris, fastball command, and I would also say a little more life on the fastball. We saw that in last night's game when he pitched out of some trouble and had a little bit extra with that heater. So I think it's really always comes down for Nestor. Can he locate his fastball up in the zone, get some swings and misses? The cutter's always going to be a factor, keeping right-handers honest in off the plate. And I'm glad you mentioned the changeup, because it was a really big weapon against the Chicago White Sox, a game that I worked in Chicago with Ryan Rucco. And then after that, it's kind of been like a third pitch where if you're a right-handed hitter, you have to think about it. It might not be a pitch that he's throwing as much as he did against the White Sox, but he's showing it just enough that you're getting right-handers leaning out over the plate. When Nestor sees that, you can go in with the cutter or elevate the four-seamer, and the numbers his last 3 have been right where he's wanted them to be.
Flash, I could talk baseball with you for hours. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time here on BPTV, but we want to thank you for the time. Yes, we appreciate it, and we look forward to the call with Ryan Rucco tonight. We appreciate it, buddy. Now, the Yanks could certainly use some ducks on the pond tonight. We talk more about the quack of the bat from the Bombers offense after another break. I'll be in the mountains all weekend. Be sure to tip your servers.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. All that potential, just waiting to burst free. I think about every battle. Kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, what I saw in us is the same thing I see in you. It's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride. each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorrento models.
Yankees batting practice today is brought to you in part by Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
We mentioned national starter Patrick Corbin gives up a lot of homers. The Yankees, they hit a lot of them. Yesterday was their 29th game this season with at least 3. That's the most in the majors, and the Bombers are 26-3 when it happens. They also lead the majors in home runs. They are 7 clear of the Baltimore Orioles. Good to have you back here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Speaking of homers, since 2018, no one in baseball has more than 252 that have been launched off Aaron Judge's bat. But Judge is also elite in taking home runs away. Thanks to Sports Info Solutions, we know Judge has robbed more homers than anyone else over that same period of time. Last night, he pushed that total to 9. Bottom of the 4th, Yanks up 2-0. Runner on first, a tying run at the plate, and former Yankees farmhand Andreas Chaparro gets into one high, deep to left center. Robbed at the wall by Judge. Grand larceny baseball. Showed he caught it before firing it in as the Yankees turned to double play. All 6 feet 7 inches of Judge helping him with the thievery of what would be Chaparro's first big league homer. And then back in the batter's box in the 9th, Judge lined a single to right field for his 1,000th career hit. And the Yankees made sure to get the ball back to the dugout to preserve it. After the game, Judge was asked about the impact of that defensive gem.
That's huge. Especially Nestor, the guy's been going out there and, he was making his pitches. He's been grinding us for a while. We need him to come up big for us and give us some length, give us some innings. He's done that for us throughout the year. So to help him out there and get one back and have a little double play there, I was pretty pumped up about that one.
Another round number for you, hit number 1,000 of your career, just checking off another box for you?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I really didn't know what they were doing, trying to take that ball or hold on to that ball. So got to figure it out after the inning. But no, just a great accomplishment. It's a blessing to get a chance to play in this game long enough to reach that milestone, but more work to be done.
Judge has had Juan Soto hitting in front of him all season, but now Gleyber Torres is providing even more traffic on the bases. He's now reached safely in 21 consecutive games, one shy of his career-best 22-game streak, which he set in 2019. Torres' OPS is up to 684, which is higher than it's been at any point this season. He started Monday's game with a bang, drilling Mitchell Parker's 5th pitch over the wall in left field for a leadoff home run. Yankees have tried 6 players in the leadoff spot, but Torres seems to have grabbed a hold of that location. Over his last 10 games, all out of the leadoff spot, Torres is batting .316 with a .435 on base, a slugging percentage north of 500, and an OPS approaching 1,000. He's also seeing 4.61 pitches every plate appearance, which is the best in the American League over that span. One last break on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll wrap things up after this as the Yankees try to improve to 5-1 in their last 6 series and 8-2 in their last 10. Keep it here on Yes and the Yes app.
This summer, it's time to get away with super hot deals on your favorite Hyundai models. All backed by America's best warranty. Plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. But act fast because these deals will be over before you know it. Get in and get away now. Lease a Hyundai Elantra for only $159 a month or get 1.99% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry in to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Returning lessees can now lease a Ford Explorer for just $319 a month for 24 months, only at your local Ford stores.
You don't want to miss History on Yes.
Just marvel at what we're witnessing.
Record-setting swings and the Yankees' epic playoff push.
Back to back to back. Oh, ho, ho. Putting on a show.
Watch as Aaron Judge takes aim at his own home run record.
He's done it again.
How much fun is it to watch him play every single day?
And the fight for the division title reaches a fever pitch. Witness history unfold on Yes and the Yes app.
Quick check of this date in Yankees history. Quite a doubleheader in 1938. In Game 1, Joe DiMaggio tied the Major League record by hitting 3 triples against Cleveland. Then in Game 2, Monty Pearson dealt the first no-hitter in the history of Yankee Stadium. In 2013, Alfonso Soriano joined the 400 homer club. And in 2021, the Yankees won their 13th straight, their best streak since 1961. Now, believe it or not, Juan Soto's batting just .232 in August, a number that's been hampered by some balls that have been hit right at fielders, atom balls. So instead, Soto is managing to still do damage by hitting drives pretty much over everything. Across his last 14 games, Soto has 9 homers, 15 runs batted in, and 14 walks. Good for an OPS over 1,200. For August overall, he has 10 homers, 20 walks, so even despite that un-Soto-like batting average, he still ranks 8th in the American League with an OPS just over 1,000. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of walks against Patrick Corbin in his career, but he's crushed left-handed pitchers all season long. 12 of his career-high 37 dingers have come off of southpaws. About those homers, Soto's climbing the ranks of the best debut seasons in Yankees history. His next home run will tie him with Giancarlo Stanton's pinstripe blockbuster in 2018, with Mark Teixeira and Roger Maris within reach after that. That will do it for this edition of Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. We're back again Friday night at 6 p.m. Up next, it's the pregame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry here in studio. Meredith Marakovitz will check in from Washington. For the rest of our tremendous crew here on BPTV, I'm Chris Sheeran. Yankees look to take the series to the nation's capital. Enjoy the rest of the night and the game here on Yes and the Yes app.
Some tests are more enjoyable than others. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. All that potential, just waiting to burst free. I think about every battle. Kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, what I saw in us is the same thing I see in you. It's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Next time you stop at a BP or Amoco, use the all-new Earnify app to earn points and get rewards.
Jay, want anything from inside?
Points. Let's see who really gets the points.
Points at the pump?
Every time. Buy one, get one? Points. Nice.
Hey, what?
Get the new Earnify app from BP and Amoco and start earning and redeeming rewards at the pump and in-store today.
Some tests are more enjoyable than others. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
and Aaron Judge takes it away. So many highlights with the bat this year, but last night the captain got it done with his defense. It all led the Bombers to another victory and boosted their lead in the American League East to the biggest it's been since late June. Tonight they'll try to win another series. It is the New York Yankees facing the Washington Nationals on a Tuesday evening at Nationals Park down in D.C. And it's great to have you with us on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Great all-around win, all-inclusive, let's call it, Jack, with the great defense, Nestor pitching, some big home runs. Let's go into tonight getting your Hyundai opening comment.
When you see those baseball scenes, Bob, and normally it's been Judge hitting home runs. Last night it was Judge stealing a home run. You see Garrett Cole pitching the way that he has pitched across his last 4 starts with an ERA of over 1. To me, it's a sign of the times. We're in August, but your brain starts to move forward to September and October, because if the Yankees are going to get where they ultimately want to get to, and that's winning a championship, Judge needs to perform. Cole needs to perform. So seeing those kinds of actions on the field is just a reminder of where this team is right now, but where it could ultimately go.
Where they are right now is 18-9 over their last 27. We take a look at our key matchup brought to you by Yale New Haven Health. And Jack, what a roller coaster ride. Best in the majors over the first 70, almost worst in the majors the next 35, but they bounced back to win 18 of their last 27. 30 games left. We're beyond the stretch drive. It is the sprint run now. What do the Yanks need to do?
Well, a big chunk of that 18-9 run has come with much more improved starting pitching. Over the last 2.5 weeks or so, the Yankees' earned run average from their starters is about 2.5. The starters have allowed 4 home runs in their last 84 innings, so they're keeping the baseball in the park. The Yankees need to continue to pitch at that high level. And, Bob, like tonight, they need to take advantage of the competition that they're playing. Win the games that you're supposed to win. Manager Aaron Boone has been criticized this year when the Yankees were down, and he was saying it's right in front of them. Now it is. With that lead that they have over the Orioles, if they outplay the Orioles and every other team in their division the rest of the way, they win the East.
Time to get it down to D.C. Meredith Morakovitz is standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, all season long we've talked about how electrifying Aaron Judge has been at the plate. Let's talk about what happened last night on defense and just how good and impactful he was from that aspect.
Bob, you know what? He is so good offensively, the best home runner hitter in the league right now. Sometimes it overshadows the defense, and it was certainly on full display last night. I'll go to the second inning. It started off with Alex Verdugo risking it all, going up against the wall, making a play there. Then later in the inning, Aaron Judge made a nice play by the wall. Then in that 4th inning, he robbed Chaparro of a home run, also doubled up the guy at first. An unbelievable play. And when you look at Aaron Judge's numbers, since 2018, he leads the league in home runs with 252. Well, he also leads the league in robberies, robbing 9 home runs over that span. He is doing it on both ends of the ball, and the Yankees are certainly happy to have him after the game last night. I spoke to a bunch of his teammates about the greatness that is Aaron Judge and that catch.
I thought he could have waited a little longer to show me up, you know, let me like kind of live in it a little bit. But no, honestly, it was a sweet play, man. I was just running with him, and you know, I didn't think that there was going to be a chance, but he's so big, and you know, he got to the wall great and jumped up, and we doubled the guy off. So that was one of the better plays.
When he jumped and caught it, I was almost taken aback a little bit. I was like, holy cow, that was crazy.
Just considering what he's doing this season offensively, just to have that defense, what's that like watching that?
I mean, it's great to have a guy up there who can climb the walls and catch balls that might be going out. It's just another plus to a guy who does it all.
I felt like the balls that got hit, other than the Chaparro double to right center, I didn't think they were going to be traveled that far. The ball carried a little bit. I knew they barreled it, but I didn't think it was going to get to the wall like it did. And I'm glad we have a 6'8" guy out there tracking down balls.
6'7", but who's counting? He needed every inch of that frame yesterday to track down that ball in the fourth, and certainly playing a solid center field for the Yankees this year. Aaron Boone even joked after the game that was Aaron Judge's 52nd home run of the season. The Nationals kept him in the ballpark, but he returned the favor by robbing Chaparro there in that fourth inning. Good news on some of the guys that looked like maybe they were a little bit banged up yesterday. Alex Verdugo running into the wall in the second. He's back in the lineup today. Anthony Volpe is fine after that slide into second. He's in the lineup today. Also noteworthy, it's not going to be Austin Wells behind the plate. Instead, it is going to be Jose Trevino catching Garrett Cole. Now, last time out for Cole, he picked up his career win number 150. He also went 6 scoreless innings. And really, when you look at him over his last 4 starts, he's pitching to a 1.17 ERA. And one thing that stands out, guys, over that span, it seems like he's going to his knuckle curve a bit more. Last time he threw it 29% of the time. That's the highest percentage that he's used that pitch this season. I asked Aaron Boone earlier why he thinks he's leaning on that pitch a little bit more as of late.
I think it's just a pitch he's had really good feel of from jump. So when he first came back from the injury, I feel like that's a pitch he had right away and has had a lot of confidence. I feel like it was an important pitch for him kind of at the back end of last season, too, down the stretch. I thought his curveball was as good as it's been, and he seemed to, throughout this year so far, it's been a pitch that he can really hang his hat on.
And how good has Garrett Cole been over his last 3 starts? Well, he is 2-0, a sub-1 ERA. He has struck out 20 batters along the way. Opposing hitters batting just 183 against him. And talking about that knuckle curve, over the last 4 opposing batters are striking out 32% of the time. He's certainly looking much more like the Garrett Cole that we saw last year. Certainly a good sign as we inch closer to September and, of course, potentially playoffs for the Yankees. Also noteworthy, they are going to get some guys back. It is time for the Morgan & Morgan injury report. A bunch of guys are playing with the Somerset Patriots tonight. Anthony Rizzo is in the lineup. He's DHing. It'll be his 3rd rehab game. John Birdie also expected to play in his 3rd. Ian Hamilton should be out there on the mound getting an inning to an inning plus. Aaron Boone saying he's not sure how many more Hamilton will need, but all those guys continuing to make progress. Also, Luis Gil was with that team, but he didn't throw officially in a rehab game. Instead, he threw a live session with the Somerset Patriots, according to Aaron Boone. That all went well, so they'll discuss what the next step will be for Luis Gil, whether or not they feel like he needs a rehab game or if they'll just bring him back and potentially put him back into that rotation. So, guys, good news all the way around, it seems, when it comes to those injuries and some potential reinforcements for a team that right now is leading the American League East by the biggest margin they've had over the Orioles in 2 games since back on June 25th.
Well, that is all good news. Meredith, thank you. Have a great night, and we'll see you in a bit with Ryan and Flash. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Time for our first break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up, Gleyber Torres is adding even more traffic to the base paths at the top of the lineup. We'll look at his time in the leadoff spot next on Yes and the Yes app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan end of summer sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"We've got somewhere to be."
And off we went. We're having a blast. And she tells me it's recommended by Consumer Reports.
These Rogues are going fast.
I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Get a low $269 per month lease on Rogue, or get up to $2,500 total savings on remaining select 2024 Rogue Platinum trims.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time. Psst. I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorrento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorrento models.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
He's a big part of this offense. When he goes, we go. You know, having a guy out there at the top of the lineup that can lead the ballpark, work the count, you know, work walks when you need to. You know, that's what we need in the leadoff spot, especially with you got Juan Soto right behind him, is can lead the ballpark, move a guy over, do so many different things. So it's, I think the reason for a lot of our success recently is definitely what he's done in the leadoff spot for us.
Yeah, Jack, we can talk a lot about the guys behind Soto and Judge and production. How about the guy getting on base and setting the table for him, Gleyber Torres?
Yeah, Gleyber Torres has found himself this season, Bob. I think it's fitting that our Judge commentary led into these Torres highlights, because if you go back to last year, when Judge was injured, the most productive hitter on the Yankees was number 25, Gleyber Torres. Now, he would admit, and the Yankees would admit, that the beginning of this season was a struggle. He had to find himself, but he has found himself, Bob, and coincidentally, a lot of this happened after he was benched by Aaron Boone. He came back a better player, a smarter player, a more focused player, and we see some of those numbers.
21 game base on base streak. Jack, you brought this up last night. The numbers that he wants for this season, they're not going to be there. The numbers he should look at, the final 30 games, or 40 if you count what he's doing now. What can he do to impact this team?
The numbers and the words. I know Aaron Judge is a great teammate, and he's always going to prop up his teammates. But when you have the guy who is going to win the MVP in your league talking about you in that way, that should make Gleyber Torres feel great about what he has been doing. There's a way to win a bet with your friends. Name the 6 different leadoff hitters for the Yankees this season. I'm not sure they'll get Jahmai Jones. Bob did. But one thing about Gleyber, too, Bob, is he still has the leg kick, but Paul O'Neill talked about this when he did some games recently. I feel that leg kick is more under control. It's up and then it's down. It's not that leg kick that's hanging in the air where the timing becomes even more of an issue of trying to get your bat through the zone. And we should also highlight how many pitches Gleyber is seeing. That is what a leadoff man has to do, both for himself and the rest of the lineup.
Great point. He gets a little jumpy sometimes, and Aaron Boone pointed that out last night, made a point of saying that he's been very patient at the plate.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference for him, and it makes a difference for the hitters who are following him. And imagine that pitcher on the mound knowing that Soto and Judge are behind Torres. They just want to get him out. They just want to get him out of the way. Get rid of this guy so I can deal with the next 2. How did yesterday's game start? He didn't expand the zone. He got to a 3-1 count, a hitter's count. He got a sinker fastball that was up. He starts the game off with a home run.
Well, Gleyber back in the leadoff spot tonight for the Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota. They're facing the lefty Patrick Corbin. So Aaron Judge, 103 games. That's a 4-month span now. That's best in the majors in terms of average, homers, runs batted in, extra base hits, and OPS. Last night's game, Anthony Volpe getting 3 hits, as did Verdugo. DJ LeMahieu, it should be noted, is a .393 hitter off Patrick Corbin with 6 home runs. Stanton and Gleyber have a couple of home runs. Jack, I just want to add that Garrett Cole has a home run against Patrick Corbin, not batting, obviously, but the at-bats and the quality of them last night so different from even just a couple days ago.
And, Bob, I had a friend of mine who said to me, last night was the best game the Yankees have played all season. I disagree. I don't have the exact game in front of me, but I understood his argument because of what you just said. the bottom of the order was so productive. The 5 through 9 hitters combined for 9 hits, 4 runs batted in. They made those scintillating plays all around the field. We've shown them. Judge robbing Chaparro of a home run, Verdugo running into the fence, Wells picking a guy off. And it's called playing the game the right way, playing the game completely, not giving the other team any chance, suffocating them when you get the chance. That's what the Yankees did.
As you put it, crisp, clean play, and I would put at least that game in the top 3 of the way they've played this season. Let's take a look at the Nationals starting lineup, courtesy of Toyota. They'll face Garrett Cole. This is a team that went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position in last night's opener. Jacob Young has a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .429 over that span. Joey Gallo's in the lineup. He has faced Garrett Cole 5 for 24 against him with 17 strikeouts. And then James Wood, his numbers on base percentage since July 1st, 4th best in the National League. Well, the Cole train rolls into D.C. tonight. He's been rolling through August. Up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we're going to break down what to expect from the Yankees ace tonight, so stick around.
This summer is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai models. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey. Hurry into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. But act fast. The hottest deals of the summer won't last. Get in and get away now. Lease an Ioniq 5 for only $189 a month, or get 0% APR for 60 months or $7,500 EV bonus cash. Hurry in to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Citizens. Make sense of your money. Visit citizensbank.com/made ready to learn more.
Game number 2 of a 3-game set between the New York Yankees and the Washington Nationals takes place tonight in Washington, D.C. If we head over to the FanDuel Sportsbook app and check out the favorites, it's the New York Yankees tonight at a -235 price. The underdog Washington Nationals come in at a +194 price. The pitching matchup tonight, Garrett Cole versus Patrick Corbin. If we check out the K props at the FanDuel Sportsbook app, Garrett Cole over 6.5 strikeouts listed at a +110 price. Patrick Corbin over 3.5 strikeouts at a -166 price. If you like home runs tonight, how about 2 New York Yankees? Aaron Judge to hit a home run at a +146 price, and Giancarlo Stanton to hit a home run at a +215 price. Check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app for much more, and as always, enjoy the game.
Well, if you're going to play a game in D.C., you better be ready for some heat and humidity. For a look at tonight's weather, here's News 12.
Hey,
Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast. And the Yankees, they're away in D.C. Here's how we're looking at first pitch. Plenty of sunshine, but it's very warm and steamy. That air that you can wear will be sticking around even through the 7th inning with temperatures in the mid-80s. It's feeling gross by the end of the game, so stay hydrated and keep cool. What's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Hope. That weather should heat up Patrick Corbin and Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole last time, by the way, Jack, against Cleveland, some really good numbers, but some kind of odd numbers, too.
Yeah, he allowed a leadoff single to Stephen Kwan, and then he went heavy fastball, knuckle, curveball to get through this. But those 2 swings and misses on strikeouts right there, those were his only 2 of the game. He walked 5, but it was an outing that he could be proud of, Bob, because though he probably didn't have his best swing and miss stuff, he definitely didn't have his best swing and miss stuff, he still stopped a very solid team across 6 innings.
So what do you make of the fact that he's throwing the knuckle curve more? Is that just because he's feeling it right now, or something he wants to refine for the playoffs coming up? Because you know him, he's a professor in the lab.
I think he's feeling it right now, and I think he's going to continue to use it because he's had such success across his last 4 outings. Batters are 4 for 19. You heard John Flaherty and Chris Sheeran talking on the BP show about Cole getting some advice from Mike Messina that sometimes even a little less velocity on that curveball makes it an even better pitch. I do think the swing and miss needs to return, Bob, because that's a big part of who Cole is. We'll see some fastballs up in the zone. We'll see that knuckle curve, and we'll surely see the slider and the change.
So will you keep an eye on the miles per hour on that knuckle curve a little bit tonight?
I think I will. I bet you the Nats will as well. But you mentioned it. He's always tinkering. He's always a craftsman trying to make himself better out there. And I think that knuckle curve is a pitch that he's going to because it just feels so good coming out of his hand right now.
All right, let's flip it to the other side now. StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, breaks down the arsenal of the National starter, Patrick Corbin. The lefty, for him, it's mostly sinkers and sliders for the Central New York native. Against the sinker, opponents are batting .336. And if you fold in his cutter and 4-seamer, anytime Corbin throws any type of fastball, hitters slug better than .500. And his stats reflect that, Jack, just 3-12 this season.
Yeah, in the final year of a 6-year, $140 million contract, he was a strong pitcher for the Nats when they won a World Series in 2019. But, Bob, that seems like a long time ago. You see those numbers right there? That's essentially been his numbers across the last 5 seasons. He's been a pitcher who has pitched to about a 6 ERA. You look at most stats in the NL, and he is at the bottom or at the top, depending on how you look at it. ERA, batting average against, slugging, etc.
One last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Jack is going to give us his key to the game next as we move closer to first pitch between the Yanks and the Nats. So keep it here on Yes and the Yes app.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorento models.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time. Psst, I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all...
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
At Domino's, we've heard in focus groups that some people don't love our classic crust.
Too doughy.
It's not thin enough.
So here's another pizza.
All the ingredients come together.
And so what if I told you this was Domino's?
Good for Domino's, for real.
Introducing Domino's New York Style Pizza. Try it tonight.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Take a class in your attic. That dead spot is gone. Stream LA in your man cave. Learn to paint on your lawn.
It's glorious. For a limited time, get a free upgrade to Home Internet Plus. Just $50 a month.
A world-class franchise with world-class fans deserves a world-class ride. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer to experience the 2024 Audi Q5 today.
The Yankees Pregame Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Great to have you back with us on the pregame. Got you for a couple more minutes. We'll get you out to the site, get set for things with Ryan and Flash, and we're not done yet. You'll see more of us. But, Jack, I want to talk more about last night because we talked about how well-rounded a game it was in almost every aspect except the 2, 3, 4 hitters.
Yes, Soto, Judge, and Stanton go 1 for 13, and the Yankees still figure out a way to win. Judge's hit, of course, was his 1,000th career hit, and he got that in his final at-bat. But that's what the Yankees need, Bob. There are going to be nights when their big sluggers get neutralized. You need other hitters in the lineup to come through. LeMahieu had a couple of productive outs, getting the baseball in the air for some sacrifice flies. Volpe had a good game, a hustle double, a stolen base of third, and Verdugo is swinging the bat better as well.
You know what I thought was really good about last night? Verdugo runs into the wall. When he goes down, you're looking like he's done for a little bit. He's going to come out of this game. He stayed in the game, said I'm fine after, and then he's back in the lineup tonight.
I think Verdugo showed us something about his toughness, Bob, because you and I watching that live, when his right knee hit the fence and then he was hesitant to put weight on it, I, like you, thought that's an injury that's going to require him to come out of the game. And it looked like after he met with the athletic trainers, he said, I'm good, stayed in last night's game. He's in there tonight. And he had a funny quip when he said, I wish Aaron Judge would have waited a little longer to have his highlight reel play. Took all the shine off mine. That's not exactly what he said, but I'm paraphrasing.
But it was good. There's no doubt about that. All right, so as we tilt towards tonight's game, like last night, could be about Nestor, could be about the offense. What's your key to the game?
Going back with alliteration, and this time it's the letter C, and we're saying that the Yankees, the key to this game is clobbering Corbin. We've talked about Corbin's stats this year, an ERA of almost 6. Bob, you mentioned the success against his fastballs. I'm not sure he has the weapons to neutralize this Yankee offense. Did pitch well in his last start. He's a free agent that the Yankees actually pursued. They wouldn't go to 6 years. The Nats did. He ended up in Washington. He got 1 World Series ring. It's been a struggle recently. And by the way, Bob, I'm going to throw a prediction out there.
All right.
Giancarlo Stanton is going deep off Corbin. He's 8 for 24 with 2 homers against him. I see the 3rd homer coming.
I like it. Will you say that maybe on the postgame with some more alliteration? Is that possible?
We'll have to wait for the S-Press headline.
All right, we'll see you back here in just a little bit. After this, we headed off to Ryan and Flash, setting the table in D.C. Stick around.
You don't want to miss history on Yes, record-setting swings, and the Yankees' epic playoff push.